Tulane. Coach, thanks so much for joining us on the call today. If you would take a minute to tie up the game against SMU, please. Maybe your plans for the open week as you get ready to face Tulane on the 4th.
Well, plans for the open week are, we're out recruiting. That's actually where I am now. So on the road recruiting. We'll get back to practice tomorrow, but we'll go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, little stuff on Friday, and then give the guys the weekend off until Sunday night. Because it was a tough one. We've had a stretch of these last 4 games that have been very difficult, and we kind of put ourselves in position this past weekend. It obviously put it into overtime, and then weren't successful in overtime. And a lot of those things are draining. I think the last 4 weeks have been. You're losing, and it's tough on the kids and it's tough on everybody. But they're fighting, they're scratching, they're clawing, and they keep battling. And at some point in time, you got to take a little bit of a break. So. Not that you like to take a break on a bad note, after losing, especially a tough game like that. But I think the bye this week will be good for us to clear our minds a little bit, have our kids clear their minds, and then get back to work here tomorrow.
Any questions for Coach Luke Fickell? Please star 1 on your telephone keypad to join the queue. Then the operator will introduce you.
And we'll take our first question from Dan Tortora with WakeUpCallDT.com.
Good afternoon, Coach. How are you?
Not bad.
As you said, being on the recruiting trail, just what you can say about how recruits and how people across the country, when you're on that recruiting trail, have responded to your message in Cincinnati right now. I know on the field there's been some struggles, but just what you can say about how you're being received on the recruiting trail as you try to build Cincinnati toward a brighter future.
It's been good. Again, we're selling a dream, and we're talking about who we are and what we want to be. And sometimes it's hard to see right now. But what we try to say is you got to put your faith and belief in us as people, and us as coaches, and us as developing you and developing our program. And, that's why it comes down to the relationship. It's really easy when, things are going really well, and, you can say, well, hey, just flip it on, and here we're 7-1, or we're, this, that, the other thing. We're playing for championships, and, and sometimes you take for granted the recruiting side of things and building those relationships. And, whether you're rolling or you're struggling a little bit, it's still going to come down to that. And I think that's where we put our focus, is that, hey, when we're recruiting, we got to sell ourselves. We got to sell the people that our program, the things that we're doing, and the things that we're building. And how do you do that? You do that by building relationships. And when people believe in you, they have a hell of a lot more confidence in you.
And to go off of that, just what you can say about the importance of being transparent. And like you said, when things are going well, you can sell that and talk about that. But the transparency of telling a kid exactly what to expect when they come to the school, or, what the position looks like and whatnot, just about the importance of being transparent in a world where sometimes the kids don't always get that.
Well, I mean, everybody has their philosophies and how they recruit and how they go about it. For us, whether we were 8-0 or we're 2-6, we're going to be honest with them, and that's what I tell them. There's things here that obviously we got to do, and we got to build, and we got to make better. But there's also a lot of great things here too, and and we're selling ourselves, and so we're not guaranteeing and promising just because there's no player. Hey, we don't have players, we're losing. You can come right in. No, I don't want it. When we recruit them, it can't be built on a lie. Our relationship can't be built on lies. And because when they walk in the door, the ability for us to be able to develop them is going to start with trust. And, so yes, there's some things, and I love it when they ask questions and they say, well, how come I see this? And, every one of our coaches are instructed. They say, look, don't be not telling these guys the truth, because they're going to walk in the door here and they're going to think, oh my goodness, this coach is crazy. And I said, I tell them, I say, if you're looking for a new 43-year-old best friend, it's probably not the right place. But if you're looking for somebody who's going to develop you, push you, and make you grow in every aspect of your life, that's who we are, and that's what we're going to start to do.
Thank you, Coach. I appreciate that.
And do you have other questions for Coach Fickell, please? Star 1 on your telephone keypad, if so. Coach, while we wait, I'll throw the next one out if I can. We've talked a little bit about this before, but through 8 games, your schedule has been one that's a bit of a meat grinder in terms of, I'm not sure, I think there's only maybe one team with a sub-500 record that's been on that schedule. Can you talk about the challenges that may have posed for a new staff and a new coach coming in, and how maybe you foresee that potentially changing the rest of the ways you look to get bowl eligible in the last 4?
Well, the key is trying to keep the morale, and you got to it's tough when you're not building upon some positive things and having some of those opportunities where, you're in those battles like last week. So the wear and the tear can, it's no different on your body whether you're 8-0 or you're 2-6. It's the wear and the tear on your mind. And I think that's where we've got to do our best job, is making sure that these guys believe in who we are and what we're doing, and and don't let their minds overwhelm them, because nicks and bruises hurt a little bit more when you're not winning, but those nicks and bruises don't quite hurt as bad, when it's 8-0 and there's a lot of positive going on and a lot of momentum and a lot of energy. So, who has to do the best job? The coaches, me, myself, at the motivation and making sure we're continuing to push these guys to get better, because, the only way we have a chance to get out of a slump is to keep working. It doesn't matter what sport you're in. In baseball, what do you do in a slump? You go out there and you hit more and you swing more. Same thing in football. What do? You don't pack your bags. You don't start sulking. You go back out, you work at it, and you keep preparing yourself, and you make yourself better.
Coach, we can move on to the next question, please.
And we'll take our next question from Leo Haggerty with It's Sports Magazine.
Good afternoon, Coach.
How are we doing?
Doing fine, Coach. Thanks. What's the biggest problem you have going on the road?
I don't know that there's not one that stands out as a problem. I mean, I can't say that it's a new environment and things like that. I don't know that that's a bad thing for us. To be honest, right now, going on the road might be a good thing. It allows us to kind of tighten down who we're around and what we're doing and the people that are going to be there. And, we got to look at it as there's some positives to going on the road, as opposed to, hey, what's the toughest thing about going on the road? Well, yeah, it's a new environment. It's, you got the people against you. But for us right now, we look at it as, hey, this is going to be a positive for it. It gives us more time to spend with one another and get to know each other better. And, and when you do that, you'll believe more in the people that are coaching you and the people that are developing you. And, so there's not one in particular thing other than, your time, or there's tightened up a little bit and you're going to be in a new environment. But other than that, sometimes it can be something that can help get you going the other direction too.
Coach, last question, and thank you for your time. This is a tougher conference than a lot of people give it credit for, isn't it?
It's a hell of a lot tougher, and not just the skill level, but I'm talking about the play all around, and the week in and week out, the battles and the things that you're going to see. It's, I'm not saying I took it for granted, but I guess I didn't realize the depth of it, and and maybe you're going to get a team here or there that's got a big couple players, but to see the depth of what we've seen so far in this conference, I've been incredibly impressed.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Coach, we thanks so much for your time today. I look forward to hearing from you again next Monday.